الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا ونبينا محمد.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن تنصروا الله ينصركم ويثبت أقدامكم. وقال الله تبارك وتعالى: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. One of our youngsters, he approached us last week and he said to me that I feel that every time I come to the masjid, I feel very different. And I feel that this sense of light, of nur, these are his words, sense of light and sense of nur, and where I find it so comfortable, so peaceful in the masjid. But he said, as soon as I leave the masjid and I go home or I go to school or I go anywhere else, I don't have that feeling. And he said, especially when I'm at home, I feel depressed, anxiety. I feel that the words that he used was crushing inside. I feel that I'm being crushed inside. So why am I feeling like this? And I thought of mentioning this to all of us because, subhanAllah, it's something that inshallah all of us can benefit from. When he was mentioning this, it reminded me of an incident of Rasulullah during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A well-known incident of one of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam by the name of Handala radiyallahu anhu. One day he was also feeling just the way how this youngster was feeling, and during midday he came out of his house in that same mode of anxiety and depression, and he was just walking around. And it was known that you would only be outside of your house during that time if it was an emergency or if there was some need, or else people would just stay within their homes during the daytime because it was extremely hot. So as he's walking around, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he sees him. And he says to him, and he asks him, Handala, what are you doing outside at this time? And Handala radiallahu anhu, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu could see on his face that there was something that was bothering him. So Handala radiallahu anhu, he said to Abu Bakr that yes, there is something that is bothering me, this uneasiness due to which I can't find peace and happiness in my home. So what is that? Why are you feeling like this? So he said that when we sit in the company of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when we are around him, I feel that my level of faith in my iman just goes sky high. It goes so high. and I feel as if we are sitting with the malaika and the angels. And I feel as if when the Prophet ﷺ is mentioning about paradise and about Jannah, as if I can see in front of me. And when he's talking about hellfire or talking about the scenarios of Qiyamah, as if I can see that in front of me. But Abu Bakr, the moment we leave that gathering and we're no longer around the Prophet ﷺ, and in that blessed gathering of his, I feel that my iman level just goes down. My faith is not the same. And this is what's bothering me. That I feel that I'm not the same all the time. Now subhanallah, as Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he's taking all of us in, listening to Hamdulillah radiallahu anhu. He looks at him, and his response was, and this could only be of a response of a Siddiq. He said, I swear by Allah, I feel the same way. He didn't say to him, well, you know what, you feel like this, I don't feel like that. My iman level is always so high. He said, I feel the same way. What should we do? Why don't we go to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and see some help and some guidance from him, that why is it that we feel like this? So they went to the house of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and again at a time when normally people would be within their homes. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam opened the door, he saw these two companions. They came inside and said, Ya Rasulullah, we feel this way, what should we do? We feel that our level of iman just goes down. It's not the same all the time. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said to them with a smile. And again, subhanallah, this is the teachings of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that when he would address someone to remove their anxiety or their pain or their difficulty or their problem, he would try to do it in a very gentle and a very easy manner. And it was always his habit that when he would respond, he would smile. He would smile. Just a gesture of smiling before even mentioning what he would have to mention would just make the person feel at ease. And these are the small, subhanallah, lessons that we learn from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That just by smiling, without uttering a single word, just comforted the Sahaba. That was sufficient. When he smiled, then he responded. He said, Abu Bakr and Hamdulillah, you feel like this? It's natural for you to feel like this. And then he went on by saying that if your level of faith was always on a high level, on that level that is with me being around you, then when you would be walking on the streets, I swear by Allah, even the malaika would say salam to you. Even the malaika, the angels, they would say salam to you on the pathway, on the road. But his response was, Al-imanu yazidu wa yanqus. Iman increases and it decreases, depending on environment, depending on situation, depending on scenario. All of these have an effect on our iman. And all of us can relate to this. Not too long ago was Ramadan. Just a week or 2 weeks ago. And we know that subhanallah, in the month of Ramadan, the level of iman was different. There was a different atmosphere within the air. And now it's totally gone. We can't explain that in words. There's no explanation for it. We're still doing the same thing that we're doing in the month of Ramadan, nothing different. But subhanallah, we feel the difference. We feel that something is not there that was there 2 weeks ago. And really, this was my message for that youngster and a reminder for all of us that our level of iman will change based on our environment, based on where we spend our time, based on who we socialize with, based on what we do, based on our a'mal, based on the fact that who we are with at work. All of these have an effect on our faith. And really the response to that and a solution to that is that what we were talking about in the month of Ramadan, and again the same reminder of trying to spend as much as our time as we can in places and gatherings and surroundings and where we can feel that our iman level is staying high. And where is that? We won't find that outside, we will find that in the house of Allah. As Ramadan has come to an end, we have to make sure that we try to maintain that level. It will go down, it will never stay the same. But at least we should try to make sure that we maintain it and it doesn't go low, and the least that we want to do is to damage it. So then the solution to that is that we spend our time, try to get our salah in the masajid, that we make sure we perform our salah in the masjid, make sure we are still attached with Quran, we are still doing the adhkar. Whatever we were doing outside of in Ramadan, try to make sure that we continue that. Alhamdulillah, a lot of masajid have restarted their programs, their Friday night halaqat, and different programs, a hadith and tafsir and different sessions. Join and benefit from them. And again, the point of sitting in these gatherings is to learn, definitely, to benefit knowledge-wise, but more importantly is to benefit spiritually. Just to sit in that gathering for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, to get the spiritual benefit. The fact that we are sitting in a gathering of malaika, just the way how we're sitting right now, we feel a difference. So when we hear, let's go to the masjid, there's a hadith program or there's a tafsir program, shaitan will come to us and say, you already heard so many lectures. You already know what he's going to say. He's going to tell you, he's going to talk about taqwa, he's going to talk about the importance of salah, he's going to talk about staying away from haram. You already know all of this. So he's trying to prevent us from going because he's telling us that, look, you already know everything. You don't need to go. Again, the point of going is not to know. That is there. Maybe we may pick up something, a new point or two. But more importantly is we will get a reminder of something that we already knew. Sometimes we need these reminders. And at the same time, even if we're doing it, we may say to ourselves, he's telling us about the importance of reciting Quran. I'm already doing that. The Shaykh told me that a couple of weeks ago in Ramadan. So I'm already continuing to recite my Quran. I didn't let go of it. I'm doing my tahajjud salah. I'm doing my dua. But if we're even doing it, then just to benefit with the gathering itself. The suhbah. The Sahaba were given the title of Sahaba from what? From the word suhbah. From being around Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They already had so much knowledge. They already knew about Quran. They learned so much. But yet they would still sit in his gathering. Why? To benefit spiritually. So sit in these gatherings and benefit ourselves spiritually, and if we gain it 1 or 2 points or gain something, alhamdulillah. If it's a reminder, it's a reminder. But these gatherings are extremely important, whether it be in our masjid or any other masjid. Whether it be a tafsir program or a seerah program or a hadith session, well, whatever it may be. And remember one more thing, that to listen to it on your phone, on YouTube, or on your device, and sitting in the gathering, these are two different things. These are two different things. It's just like when you listen to Quran live and when you listen to Quran on your phone, you can feel the difference. There's a different effect on that. Similarly, when you listen to a lecture in the masjid, in that gathering, that itself has a special effect on you. Compared to when you're trying to when you listen to it in the car or you listen to it on your phone, that's also beneficial. I'm not saying don't do that. But whenever you get an opportunity and you can take out time and where you can come to the masjid and sit in these gatherings, benefit from that gathering. That's far more beneficial than listening to a lecture at home on your phone. And likewise, trying to find friends. Look for people like-minded and where your iman can be protected. Being around people is very important, that we have with our social gatherings. And where when we meet with people who we invite to our houses that we go to, people that we surround ourselves are also like-minded. They talk about deen, they talk about and where we can benefit from each other rather than backbiting and talking about others. We don't realize what that does is that it takes our iman and makes our iman low, 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 low. And these effects of the backbiting and talking about others and swearing and doing all of these things, they eventually have an effect on our iman and hence has an effect on our ibadah. It affects our ibadah. Then I don't feel like performing salah. I don't feel like reciting Quran. You wonder why? Because of these gatherings. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us to be in good gatherings. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always keep us connected with the deen of Allah, with the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and keep us connected with Quran al-Kareem. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات. If I can request inshallah everyone to please stand up and try to fill in the gaps in the rows. جزاكم الله خير. Just as a reminder that since we were talking about sitting in these gatherings, before Ramadan we were, every Friday we would do a session from Sahih al-Bukhari. We would pick and do 2 or 3 hadith and just elaborate and mention some very important points, which was alhamdulillah very beneficial for the community, especially for the youngsters and kids. So inshallah from next Friday, we will be resuming that. Not from today, but inshallah from next Friday, after Salatul Maghrib, we'll be starting our Sahih al-Bukhari. If you look at the screen, inshallah we'll be continuing on with that program. And again, it's a family program. We try to focus on everybody who's in the gathering, especially the youngsters and kids, so they can also benefit, and at the same time with focusing on the adults as well. And likewise, alhamdulillah, all of our other programs, as I mentioned last week, that were taking place during Ramadan as well, they have resumed. They were off for the last 10 days of Ramadan, but now alhamdulillah they have resumed. Our evening Quran program, our Saturday class, our Sunday classes for girls and boys. So alhamdulillah, all of these programs have restarted. If you are interested, you can either visit the website or on your way out you can take the information cards that are against the wall, and so that inshallah you can hopefully benefit from these programs. Jazakumullah khair.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا ونبينا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله تبارك وتعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. أما بعد، فعباد الله اتقوا الله حق تقاته واعلموا أن نجاح العالم في اتباع دين الله وملة رسول صلى الله عليه وسلم، وإن هذا القرآن يهديني التي هي أقوم. يقول الله جل وعلا في القرآن المجيد: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن تنصروا الله ينصركم ويثبت أقدامكم. صدق الله العظيم. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. أما بعد، فعباد الله اعلموا أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: من صلى علي واحدة صلى الله عليه عشرا. وقال الله تبارك وتعالى: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد، وعلى سائر الصحابة من المهاجرين والأنصار ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم انصر من نصر دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وجعلنا منهم، واخذل من خذل دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، ولا تجعلنا منهم ولا معهم. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله العلي العظيم يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم، ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله. Please ensure your lines are straight and fill in the gaps. Heels on the line, please. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى. سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشعة عاملة ناصبة تصلى نارا حامية تسقى من عين آنية ليس لهم طعام إلا من ضريع لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع وجوه يومئذ ناعمة لسعيها راضية في جنة عالية لا تسمع فيها لاغية فيها عين جارية فيها سرر مرفوعة وأكواب موضوعة ونمارق مصفوفة وزرابي مبثوثة أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت وإلى السماء كيف رفعت وإلى الجبال كيف نصبت وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت فذكر إنما أنت مذكر لست عليهم بمسيطر إلا من تولى وكفر فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر إن إلينا إيابهم ثم إن علينا حسابهم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.